Hi, good morning. This is Russell Rucker. I'm here for another constitutional talk. As we get into the Stamp Act discussion, I thought it would be nice for you to see an actual image of the stamp they used at the Stamp Act. And we have it engraved here on this barrel. So I just thought that it would be nice if you had an idea of what it looked like. What I want to get to here is I want to go back to 1765. And Britain had fought the 7-Year War, and America was called the French and Indian War. And they were trying to recoup the losses from the war, and that was the whole purpose for the Stamp Act to begin with. The Stamp Act was not well received. I thought we'd go through a few of the items on the Stamp Act so you get kind of an idea of why the colonists were complaining. So it goes into a lengthy list of things that are going to be taxed. For instance, skin paper, parchment, sheet of paper will be 3 pence. So they had to be stamped. And the barrel I just showed you with this is the penny stamp from the Stamp Act. And so everything had to be stamped. So a sheet of paper was 3 pence. A special bail in court, 2 shillings. Petition bill user claim plea, pleading 1 shilling and 1 sixpence. A copy of a petition, court of probate, libel, an answer inventory, registered testimonial, certificate of degree. University, academy, college, or seminary was 2 pounds. So you had to pay 2 pounds, not for going to school, but for just getting the paper to show that you graduated. So an assignment, a libel claim, a letter of payment, expedition inventory was 1 shilling. Record of proceedings from court, a writ of errors, removal from proceedings of justice would be 10 shillings. A license appointment, admission of counsel, solicitor, attorney, 10 pounds. So to get the paperwork to have your attorney to get defense was 10 pounds. So if you went to court, boy, you're paying for an awful lot of stuff here. Any bill leading for goods, wares, or merchandise supporting a grant within the colonies would be 4 pence. So anything exported and granted within the colonies. So if you exported something, merchandise was 4 pence. That's not for the item, that's for the paperwork. Letters of mark or commission of ships of war within the colonies, 20 shillings. Grant, appointment, admission to office of appointment with salaries of 20 pounds, it would be 10 shillings. A license for liquor, 20 shillings. If you wanted wine, spirits, and liquor for retail license, it's 4 pounds. A letter of admission within Bermuda or the Bahamas, 6 pence. In the British Dominion, it was 10 shillings. A bond for securing payment for any sum above 20 pounds, 1 shilling and 1 sixpence. Any warrant for surveying land, setting up any quantity of land between 100 and 200 acres would be 1 shilling. Above that would be 1 shilling and 1 sixpence. Notary, bond, dead letter, 2 shillings, 3 pence. If you wanted a deck of playing cards, it was 1 shilling. Dice were 10 shillings. A pamphlet, a newspaper, a half sheet. If you had a half sheet newspaper, you had to pay a half penny. A whole sheet was a full penny. Now, a full penny is this stamp that I showed you earlier. Okay, 1 shilling for every page thereafter. So let's face it, if you've got say an 8-page newspaper, you had to pay 8 shillings for that paper. That's not for the paper, that's for the tax on the paper. Advertisement in gazettes or newspaper, 2 shillings. So if you dared to advertise, you also had to have that part of the paper stamped and pay the tax on it. For an almanac or calendar, 2 pence for, say, a month. If it went up to a full year, it was 4 pence. Anything printed in anything other than English, the stamp duties were doubled. A duty of 6 pence for every 20 shillings, not exceeding 50 pounds, paid for or agreed to for a clerk, apprentice, to learn any trade or profession or employment. So if you signed a contract to learn a trade, they were getting you on the licensing that you needed for that contract. Now, in order to keep this in perspective, we have to know what is a pence, a shilling, a pound, and a penny worth. Well, in today's dollar, an English penny would be 38 cents. A pound is $280. So remember, for the diploma was 2 pounds. That means for the diploma itself, not for the training, would be a total of $560. A shilling is $6, and a pence is 50 cents. That gives you kind of an idea of what we're talking about here and what our colonists were really fighting against. It was almost a taxation tyranny. And I know today we're probably even taxed worse. But to go from 0 to this point was really a bad situation. So we went from the Stamp Act and the Molasses Tax and the Sugar Act and the Intolerable Acts, and it just kept snowballing. And once they got rid of the Stamp Act, they just went to another way of trying to get the money. And this is really what led to the foundation of the irateness of the colonists, the insistence that they had no right to tax us without representation. Without us having representatives in the English government, they felt it was unfair to tax the colonies. They felt that we were independent of nature, and for a long time we were allowed to govern ourselves, and that's what created this hysteria over taxation. Because we were almost given carte blanche to run things the way we saw, and here we are. They just aren't going to put up with it anymore. And this is, I thought, going through the Stamp Act might give you a little bit of a better idea of what we were fighting against. So thank you for your time, and good day. We'll see you again on the next Constitutional Talks. Thank you.